What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Snowy Kurama, and I am back for more Draft League content. Longtime viewers of this channel would know my very first Draft League was one that I created myself called the PDL. Please do not ask what PDL stands for. You will not be impressed. This year, I found myself in an admin role of another league, known as the LYCANROC Battle League, or LBL. We are in our 5th season playing the Paldea Dex format on Pokemon Showdown. In our 3 skill-based divisions, I find myself in Midday, which is our middle skill division. That might be as much as you'll hear about me though, because I won't be showing my season run this time around. Instead, I intend to show off my favorite battles each week from each division to highlight other coaches in our draft community. I did this before for the PDL, and they were a lot of fun to make. I'll also be talking about the top teams in each division, the kill leaders, and Pickem's results in trends I'm seeing. Without further ado, welcome to LBL Season 5, Week 1 Games of the Week. I'm going to start here with our highest skill div, Midnight. We have our 2 combatants here, Martin Vitran, one of the mods also on this league, against Jirachi and Jorier, who I want to say he was the finalist in Midday last season, so he got the promotion, and he's here in Midnight. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off here. We see a Galvantula lead and a Darkrai as well. Obviously, Martin's probably not wanting to take a bug move from Galvantula, but I'm also thinking that he can't do much to it because there's a sticky web probably coming rather than, a bug buzz. Judging by his switch out into Screamtail, he's going to be predicting that one move. The move we know, the sticky web, the one that I just mentioned. Anyway, there it is. Cyclone comes out here. We see the rocks. Pretty nice. Gets rid of them rocks. Nothing's too crazy right now. Psychic Noise, pretty good DLC 2 move. Blocks your healing, as you can see. Shed Tail to get out the Chi-Yu, the big Fire Blast overheat button. The rocks come back up. Colossal comes out, and this is the Chi-Yu switch in, as you can see from the possible abilities that Colossal can have. He's got the Flash Fire ability, most likely, going into this matchup. And he's also a TERA captain, so I've seen this match before, what am I saying? He's going to TERA into something that resists the dark move, much like I did in another match this week against another Chi-Yu user. We'll see that here. TERA Fairy to resist the Dark Pulse. Hits back with a Rapid Spin, which is very good. Very good, because this thing is not going to be passive against a Chi-Yu. Not only that, but it retains its Rock Stab, so stab super effective rock moves into Chi-Yu is going to be pretty nice. This thing just got much more threatening. Look how little that Dark Pulse is doing, but Jirachi and Joyer is likely just pressing that button just for all the flinches, which he's getting. Sneasler comes out, which is a pretty good switch into Dark Pulse, even though it is pretty frail. U-turn to kill the sub, of course. We go back out into Colossal, and we see a Dark Pulse happening once again. Sneasler comes out. Another switch. I don't see anything else on the team that would really want to take it. So Screamtail comes in. He's likely predicting some sort of close combat, seeing how Sneasler's getting pretty low. But we see a Screamtail switch instead, which prompts the Quillfish. We see a Wish, and then a nicely placed Thunder Wave by Jirachi and Joyer. Colossal's about to get back up to 70-something, 67, I was close, 73, I was there. Waterfall not doing too much considering TERA Fairy, but he is likely trying to find the crit. And we see, what was that, eject button, eject pack, eject something? Red card. I was on the right vein. But red card for I don't know what the plan was for that, but red card is pretty dang good on Jirachi Enjoyer's part. We see a Psychic come out from the Darkrai that got switched in, which is very unfortunate, but if the only reason to even have the Quillfish was to do all that stuff, and then spread a T-Wave, which it did, and then put up the Toxic Spikes, and it did its job. The only issue here now is the Sneasler, who can just soak up those Toxic Spikes. So I don't see any other spikes on the team to dish out, so those things aren't going to stay around for long. We see a Zamazenta Crown coming on in. Corviknight is the switch. We see an Iron Defense, so this thing's about to dish out some body presses. I'm assuming a Roost. An Iron Defense of his own coming off of a Corviknight. Here's a Roost. Yep. Another Iron Defense. Are we just gonna see some back and forth with the boosts? Apparently not, because we see a Body Press come out here, and we see a Rocky Helmet. Was I just not paying attention before? It looks like I wasn't just paying. I just wasn't paying attention before. Rocky Helmet on a Corviknight is a great bring for something like a Zamazenta C, who has no way to recover its HP outside of course, this Rillaboom here. We see the Cyclizar likely trying to get rid of the rocks, but then we see a Brave Bird and Screamtail coming on in. It threatens out the Cyclizar with a Fairy move. So Martin pretty much gets to do whatever he wants. He sets up the rocks again. You see a Bug Buzz doing absolutely nothing but an unfortunate paralysis. We see a Big Thunder, but it wasn't big enough because it didn't do much. This thing is just a specially defensive threat, and it's honestly doing pretty decent chip with the Psychic Noise. We see Wish coming on out. We'll probably see, okay, we see a Colossal coming in. Likely because it's going to just gain back a ton of HP for Chi-Yu, because Bug isn't going to do much against Fairy. We see the Zamasu coming back in. Rapid Spin to get rid of these pesky webs, finally. And then we're going to see a switch to something. Cyclizar comes in. We see a Corviknight switch. And then out to Galvantula again. Out to Colossal. We are just predicting on predicting on predicting, but no longer because we see a Flamethrower. And I think the Colossal outside of Zamazenta here, because this thing could potentially have Iron Head or Heavy Slam or something, is pretty much free to just spin on whatever comes in. So Martin is looking pretty dang good here, still retaining all 6 of his mons against Jirachi Enjoyer. Behemoth Bash comes in, does almost more than a half to Colossal. We get rid of the rocks anyway, and then we see a switch out to Corviknight to take a very weak Behemoth Bash. He's doing Rocky Helmet damage to himself a little bit more. And then we see Corviknight, okay, I was thinking maybe we would have seen a Body Press of its own coming out, just to deal with it. We see a U-turn to get out. I believe that U-turn, 1 HP, yeah, U-turn is going to kill. We see Sneasler coming in, faster than the Cyclizar, of course. Of course. Must be a Scarf Sneasler. But yep, Close Combat goes ahead and takes out that thing. Let me pause this real quick for a sec. Perfect. I was messing around with stuff and just needed to check. We see a Rillaboom come out with the Grassy Terrain up. Corviknight comes on in to take whatever, a knockoff, which is the last Rocky Helmet we'll see off of Martin's side here. Goes out to Zamazenta, maybe to see what the Corviknight's going to do, but it ended up just being a free Roost, and takes the HP restoration from the Grassy Terrain, which is pretty good. Chi-Yu comes in for a last-ditch effort. We see Colossal coming back in, because we have to have a Chi-Yu answer on the team in order to fight a Chi-Yu player. Gaining back all that HP. We see Rillaboom coming in. We see a Flamethrower predicting the switch. I'm thinking Martin thinks that this guy right here is a choiced mon. Probably from some damage calcs or something. So that switch was obvious for him. And then we see the Chi-Yu coming in, and we'll see the Power Gem coming off here shortly. Dark Pulse doing nothing. Power Gem doing something. And then that's the game. Power Gem. GG's to both Martin and Jirachi Enjoyer. I wanted to highlight this because Martin had some pretty dang good switches in. Pretty good predictions and preparation as well. Using all of his mons to do something on the team. Except for Ogrepon, who I don't think even came out once. But that's okay, she was there. Very good showing from Midnight. Up next from our Midday division is a good pal of mine, Sound of Snow, going up against another mod from this league, Ditto. So Ditto's on the other side, and Snow is on this side. I know you can't tell because of their Showdown names, but that's fine. I know. Let's just go. We see Golden Go coming out first against the Arcanine. Not a great time for Snow. As you see that this thing just went down like that. 293 comparing to 306. You can't even tell if that's Scarf yet or not unless Snow was Scarf himself. But we see a Garchomp coming out, which is a very scary thing in Arcanine, and to many members of Ditto's team if he's planning his attack correctly because of Garchomp's wide array of coverage. Meowscarada comes in. We see a Stealth Rock coming on out, likely because he knew that there was going to be a switch there. I mean, Garchomp's pretty fast, so there's that too. Glastrier comes in. Flower Trick, probably not going to do too much because Glastier's a big, bulky guy. 31%, that's not awful, but it's not the best. Rotom comes in. We see a big old Double Edge coming off of the Glastrier. Like, what? Double Edge. Okay, now we see... Okay, this is why. This play right here is like, this has got to be the one. This has got to be the one. I remember this. See Rotom coming in. Right. We see a Double Edge coming off of this Madalad Glastrier. TERA Normal. Will-O-Wisp. The Facade Tech to take out the Rotom with the Chilling Neigh boost. That was fire. Glastrier took an attack from the Gallade with an added Chople Berry and ended up just destroying that thing as well. Glastrier is out here, +2 attack, 5 HP, burned, just annihilating the opponent. It is nuts to see. That thing did its job and then some. I'm saying that right now. Terapagos comes in on Snow's side, and we see Ditto with an Arcanine. Ditto is noticeably not Boots. Head Smash does nothing to Terapagos. I mean, Ice Spinner does nothing to Arcanine. That was interesting. I'm not sure exactly what Snow was planning on with that. Maybe he thought Landorus was going to come in, or Meowscarada. Maybe he was thinking Meowscarada does the most damage to him, which I could see. But... yeah, I don't know. That's what happened. And Arcanine's very, very strong with head smashes. Very, very strong. We see Garchomp and Toxapex on each side here with a spike. So we see a spike setting Garchomp. Raikou with the balloon. Toxic. I believe he still keeps that balloon. Thunderbolt comes out, bringing Toxapex down to very low. Regaining all that HP back with a recover, because you know that's just how that is. Calm Minds up. I don't understand the Water Pulse bring. Maybe he's fishing for confusions. That's all I could think of. Haze, very good bring on Ditto's part. You want to get rid of all of them stat changes. And a T-Bolt to get there to that thing. Arcanine comes on in, likely head smashes this thing. TERA Blast, so this thing is either Scarf or that's a slow Raikou. I'm thinking this thing is Scarf. TERA Blast. TERA Ice into the Serena. Serena takes 97% from this TERA Blast Arcanine, which is insane. I don't know if that's a low roll or not, but you gotta give it to him. That's nuts. U-turns on out, getting rid of the Arcanine. Going back into the Garchomp, we have 2 left on each side. Meowscarada is in. Triple Axle. I want to say this Garchomp is Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet combo. Was that second one a crit? No, I think it's just how much it does. So Meowscarada did not get out of that jam without losing damn near all of its health. And now it's Serena versus the world, ladies and gentlemen. Choice, Scarf, Triple Axle, Serena. Getting all 3 of the hits onto the Protean Ice Meowscarada. And now he's got to do it again. Comes right down to it, folks. The luck on this man. The luck on this man. I hope he left all of his luck in week 1, because I got to play him week 2. Oh, that was crazy to see. Serena here on 3%. The only thing left standing in this back and forth match. Great game to these two. Last but not least, in the Dusk Division game of the week, we have Raffmon versus Jeremy. Jeremy's got a Sun team with a Iron Bundle stapled onto it. And then we see Raffmon with the Quaquaval, with the Heatran, the Dragapult, some of my favorite mons to use in draft. I haven't used Quaquaval, but Heatran, oh boy. Oh boy, it's another good Chi-Yu sponge. And we got the Shed-Tail Orthworm here as well. So let's go ahead and get on into it. We see the Grafaiai first, probably to get off a parting shot of sorts, and the Dragapult. I'm not sure why we were leading Dragapult, but we are. Gliscor comes in. Draco Meteor does quite a bit, despite the parting shot. We see an Orthworm switch here. We see a Protect from the Gliscor, which I probably would have done myself. I'm not sure. U-turn on out into Torkoal to get up that Sun. Orthworm, of course, Shed Tails, because that's what this thing is. This thing is just Shed Tail. Donphan comes on in. We see a knockoff from Torkoal doing just a little bit of damage. The Lava Plume comes on in. So Heatran comes in probably to soak that up. What I was going to say there before all that switched is probably should have went out into something that was going to better handle the Torkoal rather than the Donphan, unless he was expecting this thing to be Spadef, which I usually run Spadef Torkoal, but I don't know. That's just me, I guess. We see Photosynthesis attack coming off of this guy here, but it didn't mean a thing to Scarf Heatran. Look at this. 287, 278. This boy is scarfed as all get out. We see Raging Bolt coming on in, Fire Blast doing not too much to Raging Bolt, but then we see a Calm Mind. And I think we see a TERA here. Orthworm comes in. Nope, we just see another Calm Mind coming in. So let's see what this thing wants to Shed Tail into. We see a TERA fighting, TERA Blast, doesn't get to Shed Tail. We're shutting that down right now. Donphan comes in. Another good damage to TERA Blast. Knocking off the leftovers, no more recovery. Just hitting him up with another one. Quaquaval comes out here. TERA Electric Aqua Steps. Only doing about half of what he's got left. And then we see TERA Blast doing a ton. Thunderclap finishing off the Quaquaval, ending that thing's whole career. Dragapult comes in. The Draco Meteor doing almost enough damage. Almost enough damage. We see, what was that, like 32? 35? Yeah, 35. We see 35 coming off, and that was just enough for the Draco Meteor to slap back, hitting that Dragapult down to 0. Insane. Heatran comes on in. We see a Thunderclap on the Scarf guy just for some chip. Crazy showing from TERA Raging Bolt. Grafaiai comes in. We see a switch to Toxapex, knocking off the Black Sludge. We see a Super Fang doing a lot of chip there. And then a Surf. An Encore into Surf. Might be going after the Iron Bundle here. So we see a Parting Shot, just in case either way. Into the Gliscor. Might be setting up a Protect. Nope, just goes out into Toxapex. Okay, yeah, so we did see the Protect there. That's what I would have done. I'm not sure what the switch to the Toxapex is. Maybe Heatran can't do anything to Gliscor. Either that, or maybe Raffmon was predicting an Earthquake, which is very fair. Earthquake comes in. I would have predicted the Protect. At least I hope I would have. We see an Earthquake doing nothing. Gliscor is still just being Gliscor, just 11 hits. U-turn on out into the Grafaiai, likely to just Parting Shot on out. Or maybe there's a knockoff here on the Scarf Heatran. Nope, we see a parting shot. Go out to Iron Bundle, likely just pressing some Hydro Pumps. Nope, U-turns on out into Gliscor on the regenerated Toxapex. So we see some stalling happening here with the Toxic Spikes. I mean, Grafaiai can just come out and eat those up, so I don't understand. But it's okay, because there's rocks on the other side of the field of Jeremy's, and we see a Protect. Gliscor's just getting all his HP back. Grafaiai comes in just like I said it would, and it gets the Toxic Spikes away. We see a Super Fang getting down that Toxapex even more. Encores into Toxic Spikes to bait out this Heatran. We see a parting shot here, likely go out into the Gliscor, goes out into the Torkoal. Not sure what the thought process is here. Maybe a Solar Beam for this thing. Earth Power for both. Never mind. I forgot Torkoal gets that. Grafaiai comes in to get rid of them. Spikes, Toxapex just keeps on recovering. We see a Heatran switch. Probably a parting shot off of the Grafaiai. Nope, Encore. Now we'll see a parting shot off of the Grafaiai, because of course we do. Going out to the Torkoal for some more Earth Powers. Does not take a good amount of damage. My bad. Takes a solid amount of damage from the Heatran, and then Sun ends. Maybe we were counting Sun turns wrong. Maybe that was just an unfortunate thing on the side that happened when the Torkoal came in. Earth Power does almost nothing. That being said, there is nothing on the team that really takes advantage of the Sun, so Jeremy really doesn't need the Sun too much more. See a Surf, getting rid of the Torkoal, and then Gliscor coming on in, Earthquaking, killing the Toxapex, and all he needs to do is do that one more time against the Heatran. He might Protect first to get as much HP as he can, but instead he just gets hit with a Fire Blast. Iron Bundle comes out, we see a U-turn off of this thing, we see Grafaiai coming in for a sack, I suppose. And then Iron Bundle coming on in, Hydro Pump, miss, Fire Blast, kill. This Heatran did it. All by itself. Scarf Heatran, ladies and gentlemen. I mostly wanted to pick out this fight just to show the BS. The tomfoolery, even. Of TERA Raging Bolt. Thanks, Leganen, if that's how your name is spelled, for letting this thing out here, doing all types of damage to every Pokemon that's out there. Doesn't even matter. Again, the Terra Blast into Thunderclap. For that thing, we see this thing just... He terrorized. He single-handedly terrorized all four of these guys, I think. Yeah, all four of them. For Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt food. That is it for the games of the week. Very well done to our two Dusk guys here, Jeremy and Rathmon, for the night's game. And now we're going to move on to some statistics. On the leaderboard from Midnight, your top 5 Pokemon are an Iron Valiant from Saigai, taking all 6 kills, followed by Lies of J's Salamence, Martin's Colossal that we saw on screen, a Dragapult from KJ, and Iger's Ogerpon. In Midday, we see Kayla's Dragapult getting 3 kills in her game, Sound of Snow getting that Serena goodness that we just saw, Whelmed in her Ursaluna, DRVR, probably Driver maybe, 79, just Drifblim, probably doing some shenanigans with Unburden. And then Ditto's Hisui and Arcanine, which we also saw on screen today. And then in Dusk, we have Rathmon's Heatran, which we just saw take 5 kills this game. A Spectrier from Deadpool, 619, my bad. Roy Johnson's Golden Go, Jeremy's Raging Bolt, which we just raged about, and Boaz 22's Noivern. These are the standings from week 1. We see the top 3 coaches from Midnight is Saigai with a 6-0, Martin with another 6-0 that we saw on screen, and Lies of J with a +4 victory against his opponent. Midday, we have Holy Macaroni taking 5 points from his opponent, Whelmed coming in at the same amount, and then Kayla taking 3 points, unfortunately, against me. That was a chess match, let me tell you. Then we have in Dusk, we have Boaz taking 4 points, Deadpool with 3 points, and Mr. Ric Flair with 3 points as well from his opponent. So for this Pickem section, I'm just going to go over what the percentage is that the community got right for each week, and then I'm going to list out the total, the grand total at the end of the entire season. So we have Midnight. We had 50% of the community voting correctly for Midnight Week 1 Pickems. Midday Week 1, we had about 33% of the community guessing the correct amount for Midday. And then Dusk, we had about an 83% of correct guesses, for a total of 55% correct guesses for Week 1. And that'll do it for Snowy Kurama's LBL Games of the Week. This was a lot of fun to do, and I'm hoping you guys will stick around for the next couple of episodes. Like this video if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I have noticed a couple of, a little bit of an increase on the channel, even though I wasn't doing too much. I always intended to come back. I just had some stuff to take care of for the 2 months or whatever, so thank you all for joining the channel. Hit that bell so you know when it is I'm uploading. And with all that being said and more, this has been your boy, Snowy Kurama. See you in the next video. Goodbye.